Hiya, it's Marta. I'm hoping to just do a little video to talk to you about something that is rather sensitive and, in my opinion, very, very, very important, and that is mental health. It will be probably no surprise to any of you that we are currently living in very uncertain times. You're probably finding that you're living in lockdown, unable to leave the house unless you're going to go shopping for essentials or for your daily exercise. And that can take a real strain on you and your family. Perhaps you're living in a much closer way with your family or friends or whoever you're living with, and you're having to manage that as well as manage not going to school anymore and not seeing your friends, perhaps not seeing other people, other family members that are really important to you. And we're under a lot of strain, and so I felt it was really important that we talked about this. I'd just like to start by saying that I am not a professional. I am not a psychiatrist or anything like that. I speak from my own experience. I spent many years living with major depression and something called pure O, which is a kind of strand of OCD. Very much an obsessive way of thinking minus the compulsion side of things. I also was diagnosed with a generalized anxiety disorder. So I kind of have this experience. I've also been through therapy, and I've also learned a lot of things along the way that I think has really, really helped me. And so that is why I've created this video, because I'd like to share that with other people, because I know right now, whilst we're living in lockdown, it may be difficult to access the kind of help that you need. And it may just be as simple as doing a few exercises and checking in with yourself, and that might be all you need to do to keep yourself kind of your head above the water. I'm also sure that there are some of you who perhaps feel like that isn't enough, or perhaps some of you who need more support. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link beneath lots of websites, apps and signposting to various different support things that I know are out there and still currently offering support. Also, you may want to message me, and I'll be more than happy for you to do that. And like I said, I can't give professional advice. I can just give my life advice, but I can maybe point you in the right direction. A good place to start is checking in with yourself. We kind of, as the day goes on, our mind sort of moves in various directions. Different things happen, conversations with people, we see things, we hear things, and as the day goes on, we pick up and soak up a lot of the stuff in our surroundings, and maybe we don't realise it, but that kind of like has an impact on how we hold ourselves, how we're feeling inside, how we're breathing. For me, I'm a teeth gritter. Is that a thing? Teeth grinder. So if I'm stressed, I don't realise it until I do this kind of checking in with myself, but I kind of like this. But maybe not on the face, because everyone would notice, but like I'm just grindy teeth. And I know I'm really stressed because I'll wake up with like a headache and a jaw ache where I've been sleeping like that. So that's just personal, and you've probably got your own things that you're aware of. But it's just really good sometimes, every now and again, just to have a little check-in with yourself. Okay, how am I feeling inside right now? What is going on for me right now? What is the majority of my thought life involving? Is it stuff that's healthy? Is it stuff that's making me feel absolutely pants? What is going on here? To be self-aware, I think, is really, really important. So you might just want to like relax your shoulders. You might want to lie down on a sofa somewhere, and you might just want to take some time to do some deep breathing in for 5 and out for 5. Or you might want to roll your arms around. I don't know. You might want to do a weird jellyfish dance. I don't know. Nobody wants to do that. Why did I just say that? I don't know. But you might. And yeah, just do whatever it is that's going to make you feel comfortable and somewhere you can focus, and just check in with yourself. Like, look at me. Like, hey, Marta, how are you doing? Like, what's going on for you right now? Are you being kind to yourself in that mind? Or are you spending all day beating yourself up because, oh, I haven't done all the homework I should have done, and oh, look at my body, it looks awful, I haven't been exercising, I've been eating really badly, or oh, or a lot meaner stuff. In fact, so mean that I would never say it to somebody else, but for some reason we say these things to ourselves. So yeah, just take that time to check in with yourself. And I would recommend doing that a few times a day. Just doing that can sometimes take the edge off, because you can bring yourself back down. You can check in with yourself. You can go, no, you're being really, really harsh on yourself, or no, you have got too much going on right now and you need to prioritize and you need to give some time to yourself to relax. I always like to think of, can you see that? Yeah, lovely glamorous assistant of myself. I always think that it's helpful to think of the brain like an elastic band. So we can fill it with stuff, we can fill it with knowledge, we can learn loads of stuff and fill it up, we can fall in love, we can, I don't know, live life and fill it with memories, fill it with stuff, but there's only so much that it can take, and the heavy stuff, the stressful stuff, is particularly what I'm talking about here. So there's only so much stress that this elastic band can take, and I'm not strong enough. No, I can't do it. Before it snaps. So I guess what I'm saying is there's only so much stress that your mind can handle. And what we're going to spend the next part of the video doing is having a look at what it is you're filling your mind with. Is it purely pressure, stress, worry, fear, anxiety, hopelessness, self-hate? Is it all of that stuff? Because there's only so much thinking like that your brain can take before it snaps. And when it snaps, you'll possibly find that living day-to-day life is really, really tricky. That you can't leave your house for fear of something happening. That you can't be bothered to talk to those people that you really love and care about because you just haven't got the energy. That you just want to stay in bed all day and not even bother getting up. Or maybe it looks to you like you want to take some control and you're obsessively counting calories or obsessively thinking and ruminating on things. I don't know what each of your thing is that you fill your brain with. But what I do know is that we need to really be mindful of how full it's getting. This here, can you see that? This little pot in the middle is a stress container, okay? You can do this anywhere in your house. You can do it in your bedroom, you can do it on your phone if you want, or you can get a pen and paper out and draw it. It doesn't really matter, the principle is still the same. Stress container can only take so much stress. So what I want you to do is to have a little think of what things you're filling it with. What is in that stress container in your mind? What things in your life contribute to that stress container being filled? Around the outside is a border, which I want you to have a think about where maybe those pressures come from. So perhaps one of the things in your stress container is body image, and you're really unhappy with how you look because you've got some sort of idea of what you should look like, and you're not going to be happy until you reach that. And I just want you to have a little think of, where did that come from? Where did you get this idea of what you should look like? I imagine for some of you it might be things like social media or advertising or something that someone said to you before, or something that you're worried someone might say to you. But yeah, it's always helpful to identify what the stressy thing is, but also to identify where it came from. Okay, so I've done an imaginary stress container. This isn't my actual one, although some of it probably is. So I've got things like relationships, feeling hopeless, anxiety, particularly right now, whilst we're living in a pandemic. It's quite, anxiety producing. All you've got to do is turn on the TV and you see so many things that are going to cause you to feel anxious. Maybe it's guilt. Maybe you're feeling really awful about something that happened yesterday or 10 years ago. So, that's something I definitely struggled with, carrying guilt for stuff. Maybe it's real concerns about your body image. Maybe it's frustration. Maybe you're just fed up of staying in the house and you just want to get back out and see your friends. Maybe it's unforgiveness. Maybe you're really, really struggling with a relationship and forgiving someone. And then around the outside, I put things like that might be extra stressors that have contributed to that. So I've got social media, perhaps teachers putting pressure on, or parents even putting pressure on, even though they mean well. So that's that part. Then, this is the exciting part, okay? I've turned it into a keg, as you can see here. So, what I think it can be helpful to do is to imagine this is the stress container, and that's great. We realise that. We've identified that our stress container is way full and we're at breaking point. How do we get it out? How do we empty it? And there's something that is being talked about a lot at the moment, which is self-care. And I can remember when I was really, really depressed, my therapist saying to me every week, "What have you done for self-care?" And it used to really annoy me, because I used to think, like, well, you obviously don't understand how I'm feeling right now, because if you did, you wouldn't be asking me about what I've done for self-care. Like, all I want to do is lie under my duvet. I think I just spat at the screen. Ew. Is lie under my duvet and go on my phone and watch YouTube videos. Like, that's all I'm interested in right now, and that's just about all I can cope with. Anyway, she used to bring it up every single week, and then one week I was like, okay, like, this seems to be a really big deal for her. Like, I'm going to try it. And I think the first thing I did was I had a bubble bath and painted my nails after. Like, nothing major, just something simple. And it made a huge difference. I was really surprised. I didn't feel like doing it. I pretty much forced myself to. But afterwards, I felt a little bit better. I'm not going to say I felt like 100% and it was a magical cure, because that's not true. But it just eased a bit of all that tension I was carrying. Have a little think. What are things you can do to release some of that tension? It'll be different for everyone. Maybe you need to organise like a video call with your friend, or maybe you need to go out and go for a run, or read a book, or just do something that is for you for no reason other than to just look after yourself. Maybe you want to pray. Maybe you want to do some sort of stretchy exercise. I don't know, I'm pants of thinking of ideas. But you'll all know what those things are that kind of help you. And when we're feeling at our lowest, it's probably the time when we least want to do it. But I just really want to encourage you to take that little bit of time out for self-care, because what will happen is this stuff will feel a lot less heavy. One of the most helpful things I find personally is just talking to someone. Maybe that might be your parent, or maybe you might want to text an online counsellor or something. Getting it out there, talking about it, rather than just trying to shove it down, because that's what we can tend to do. We can think, oh, I'm feeling really stressed out, my stress container is spilling out all over the place and I just got to jam it all back in and push it all back down. And it's not healthy, because all that will happen is it will come out as a big explosion. So I hope you liked the video. I'm sorry that I am absolutely not a professional YouTuber at all. But yeah, thank you for listening. I really hope it's been helpful. And like I said, I'm going to come back with a few more. I think I might do like a mini series, because there's a lot more stuff that might help you. Please do check out the comments below. I'm going to link up some helpful places you can go for help. And as I said, it may be the hardest thing that you ever do, but please talk to someone. Please just let someone know how you're feeling. Even if you find it too hard to say in words, send a text message, write a letter, get some lipstick and write it on the bathroom mirror. Think of a way of letting those people that care about you know that you are in need of help. And I promise you that that is the first step to freedom from this stuff. You won't always feel like this. You don't have to live feeling like this forever. Maybe you have felt like this for a really long time. but I promise you there is light at the end of what probably feels like a really long, dark tunnel. And I know that because I've been there. And had someone told me, oh, you're not going to always feel that way, I would never have believed them in a million years. But I promise you that there's hope. So, yeah, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.